how we actually played, right? Because I didn't really review the game. So technically, Tana and me can review the game together, and we're just gonna see how the game is gonna turn out. Something to mention as well. So far in the playoffs, every team got 2-0.
That's true, yeah. It's been 2-0s across the board so far in these playoffs. So, will we see a game-free situation? Let's find out. Germany taking the first ban. It's going to be Dodrio directing that ban over from the side of Italy.
Yeah, so for the context, for this game, Team Germany targeted Potato on the Dojo. So we just banned out the Dojo. And Potato, like on the Italy side, they actually targeted our jungler Laura because he's a well known Absol player. And they just said, we don't want to play against Absol. And then we decided to ban Zacian. What do you think about that? Even though we are first pick.
Yeah, that is quite interesting. Like, especially, someone as yourself really likes the Zacian pick on your team. So, I'm quite surprised at that one, buddy.
So yeah, we just decided to ban it out again, like I mentioned before. If you are first pick and Italy lets everything open, you gotta ban something broken to not give them everything.
Mm. Rightly so, and you're locking the Cerulich for Germany over there. I like that pickup, really strong. What's going to come in from Italy? They do have the opportunity of picking up some strong all-rounders and a strong defender here. Usually, what we see people do, let's see, it's going to be the Mariah Dawn, really good pickup, and Service, of course, taking the Hooper.
Yeah, Zev was a well-known hooper. I think he is globally known as one of the best hooper players in the world, one of the best hooper players in Europe. And I decided to pick up the Leafeon with the Mama Swan, Umbreon being banned, and Mama Swan still being one of the meta picks on the defender role, just securing that. And then they decided to go for Trevenant and Buzzwole.
You've taken the Leafeon over on the side of Germany. Daddy Leon locking in the Mama Swine. I like that, buddy. We know how strong that mon is. And what are we going to see from a support perspective? Usually it's either the Blissey or the Elder Goss. It seems like Indigo's rotating between them both at the moment, trying to make a decision. It's looking like it's going to be the Elder Goss lock in.
Yeah, we decided to go for the Blizzy and the A9 into the compositions, even though Midadon is very good into A9. Um, we know that Klaus plays like melee characters or he doesn't really pivot into mages. So there's a low chance they're gonna play double mage compositions. Would be really good into our composition. But again, if you play against Ceruledge and Leafeon, like Zerad is not really the typical all-rounder. He is like being played like a speedster. So
Hmm.
picking up a match into this is gonna be very hard. And this is something you wanna keep in mind in the draft consideration. What team do we play against? What does the carry play? And because we know that, we just forced essentially close on a melee character. He could have picked Zoroark there as well, but it's again like very tough into our composition.
I really like the A9 pick though. I feel like A9 is feeling pretty decent in the meta at the moment. It's just so much CC, right? It can drop a lot of CC and do a decent amount of damage with the Blizzard moveset. So I quite like that pickup when you're gonna have the diving from the Buzzwole, you're gonna have the diving from the Blaziken. So it's a good counter to that.
I'm seeing the chat right now. We are doing predictions, and it's 224k for Team Germany. Um, it sounds a little bit sus, guys, but it's fine. So I'm very excited to see how the early game turns out because again, like last game, we didn't really see the Leafeon having any impact in the early game. So from my perspective as a Leafeon player, I mean, I was playing Leafeon. Um, I'm curious to see like what you think about the things that the Leafeon does. So if you can pay attention to that, it's just very important to get like know how to get the power spike, like I mentioned earlier, 945, 935.
Yeah, I'll keep a close eye on that because I enjoy playing Leafeon quite a lot, and I know that the recent changes to the jungle has meant that that evolution doesn't come as quick as usually expected. But in the meantime, we do have that Buzzwole in the top lane. Hooper's going to go provide assistance after getting the red buff as well against that Charcadet and the Blissey. So it does seem like the top lane is going to be a bit more beneficial for Italy right now. But of course, with that Leafeon being evoed already, that's going to really provide a lot of assistance coming into that top lane.
Yeah, looks like Blaziken is just picking the central area, going for the blue buff. The Leafeon is looking for the flank, potentially forcing out abilities like the X speed and just helping them secure the farm. But this time around, Potato was just being able to secure the farm, which is very good for Potato, getting a 1 kill and potentially getting the second kill as well. While the Upa is stunning the Blizzy and securing the second kill.
Yeah, really good KOs. They're very close to that level 5 mark on the Buzzwall now. That's not the kind of thing that you want to see as an opponent, because once it gets that power spike, it makes a huge difference in that top lane. We're about to have these first set of birds spawn. Combustions here prepared to provide some assistance. It seems like it is just yourself on the Leafeon here at the moment, and it's not a lot that you can do against the power that is the Buzzwall at level 5 with that Hooper assistance as well. So all of that XP is going to go to the side of Italy.
Yeah, something that is like very hard to deal with is when you lose the early game, you gotta accept that you can't play for the swap boost. What a lot of teams are doing is they try to play for the swap boost desperately and then just dying. And that just means that we are getting stacks. I noticed that they will try to push me and I just baited them towards my own teammates so my teammates can secure the kill and manage to win the top lane.
Yeah, that's worked really well for Germany there. They've managed to score plenty of stacks for themselves, and they've got the Ceruledge online. There's a Blissey as well. So the bottom lane has had quite a contested battle. We've got the A9, we've got the Miraidon. It's been quite interesting down there, but the mid-birds are about to spawn. Leafeon being here, they've got the Razor Leaf, but there's the Combustion as well. Who's going to lock in the KOs? They take down the Combustion. Germany coming out on top of that one.
Yeah, while that happens, you can decide as a top laner if you wanna gank, like help the middle swappers or just try to get stacks. Potato was prioritizing his stacks, and because of that, he's gonna fall. Something you wanna keep like pay attention to is if the 8 minute swappers are spawning, and your enemy team is doing a 5-man for the swappers, and the top laner not being there to score, you will essentially gonna have a really hard time to escape because the top lane is so wide open that it's gonna be very tough for you.
Rightly so. 720 is coming up. We've got the overheat kick on the Blaziken now, so they're going to lock in the majority of that. But it is a Ceruledge. They have the Phantom Force to get themselves away. They've got the Bitter Blade, but I feel like they're possibly going to go down there. Oh, so close. 1 HP and a dream. Is it going to be enough? Blaziken locking it in with a Focus Blast, and Buzzwall going down as well. Leafeon with a nice cleanup.
Yeah, Italy looking very strong so far, having the level 8 Blaziken. I used ultimate as well to manage to get some kills. That means I don't have ultimate for the bot lane side, so it's gonna be very hard to play for the objective. We know that the Ceruledge is close to level 9, so we're just playing for the top lane side to get stacks, while the Ceruledge is going towards bot lane side to potentially make a great play with the Unite move. But while that happens, he's just getting knocked down by the Trevenant, and Italy is gonna look like gonna secure the Reggie Seal for themselves.
Yeah, you don't want to be giving away too much XP down there. The Registill's going to go to the side of Italy, and it's just going to be an acceptance from Germany for that to happen. So they can defend this pad. Of course, they do have the Hooper over on the side of Italy, but it seems like you're just going to cause chaos with the Emerald 2-step onto the Buzzwall. Goodbye, back to the Pokemon Center for you. Zervis doesn't want to let it happen, but there's nothing they can do against it. Revenant Rend is going to pick up the Miraidon, and they're going to try and pick up anything else that they can on Ceruledge, but they've got a nice wood hammer against them. That Horn Leech is going to be able to do enough for Blaziken to clean up Ceruledge.
Yeah, the Ceruledge going for the 1-for-1 on the Miraidon, but going on favor to Team Italy because the Ceruledge has more XP than us. While that happens, the Blizzy is using that move on the Leafeon. Leafeon is looking for the flank and getting the kill. Something to pay attention to. The reason why you're trying to handshake stuff is because you want to play like top lane macro or bot lane macro. So if you lose both objectives at the same time, it's very bad. So while they got the bot lane objective, we just destroyed the top lane, got the jungle, and got the kill as well, which is something you can do in competitive. Ceruledge using Phantom Force to dodge the Buzzwall Unite move and just looking like that Buzzwall is gonna fall again.
Yeah, they use the eject button to get themselves over the wall. They want to go back to home, and I feel like they're going to just be able to do so before Mama Swine manages to pick them up. But we have 20 seconds before these objectives spawn. Yet again, it seems like Italy are sending the Miraidon down to defend that bottom pad while they have the Buzzwall grabbing some XP and rotate up towards this Lecky.
Yeah, the Regulaki is spawning, bot lane objective is spawning as well. Looks like Italy is playing for bot lane objective, just making sure to get the objective. Again, just handshaking the objectives at the same time. When that happens, Team Germany is forcing the top lane objective. Hoopa is using its Inan move, but Team Germany is still trying to force the objective. People are taking the portals back, but the Team Germany is securing the objective and trying to manage to escape.
Yeah, a bit of a delay from Italy there. They felt like they wanted to push on and score some points and then use the portal, but some good defense from the A9 has meant the delay is given that objective to Germany. They have managed to clean up anyone that was defending the pad, though, so they're going to score some points into that T1, some very needed points, whilst most of that mid farm is going to go to the side of Germany. So this game's getting ever so close as we hit the mid section of it, but level-wise, it looks like Germany are slightly and very slightly on top.
Yeah, like to pay attention to what is actually happening on the minimap. While Team Italy is trying to play a more reactive gameplay towards what we are doing, we are just trying to play the map the entire time. So while they were pushing top lane side, Team Germany was pushing bot lane side, and breaking the bot lane goal zone is probably more beneficial than breaking the top lane goal zone if you play against a mage like Miladon. Looks like Team Italy is going for a push on bot lane side. We are trying to read that play as well to protect the goal zone. Like, communication is going to be very important. Leon is going to jump in and gonna try to secure the kill on the boss boy, and everyone is activating its unite move, and we are just trying to essentially defend the pet.
Yeah, working really well off that pad. Of course, Miraidon does pop down, but Leafeon is there to clean up. That's a double KO for them. And Ceruledge really wants to clean up the tree. They do fell just that. And it looks like Germany are coming out on top yet again. All of this farm going to them. And Italy are going to struggle against the oppression that was Germany in that bottom lane.
Yeah, like the unite moves on Leafeon and Savage are just very OP in terms of having burst damage. So if you activate its unite move and people can't react to it again, they have a Hooper player, so they don't have an Eldegoss or an Blizzy to make them stay alive. So we have, like, you got enough damage to kill the enemies before they can essentially take the portal. So you could argue about if they have a support or not, actually.
So this Lucky has spawned, and of course we're going to see Italy go for the rip. It doesn't seem like it's something that Germany are slightly concerned about, though. Obviously, they know that that can go into the T2, and they want to get themselves set up for this Rayquaza. So what was you thinking around this one then, Gatlu? It wasn't really something that you were bothered about, right?
So because we have such a point lead that everyone uses unite move on bot lane side, we don't have any unite moves on top lane side. We want to try to avoid fighting them by trying to secure the regular keep as fast as possible. But again, if they have basic and Hooper, you don't really want to let them flip it. So what we were doing is just baiting out the regular key, like we are doing the regular key. And we know that they will probably force the objective, so we will just try to protect the middle with the A9. And it's very hard to engage on the A9 with Mamuson and Blizzy around.
Rightly so. They do have the charge beam from the Miraidon, so they've got some poke damage that they can throw on in there. Leafeon is set up in the top lane for that vision, and they've now got vision on the Buzzwole. Are we going to see the Emerald two-step onto it? Yes, we do. They put their own Unite move, but it isn't enough. Goodbye, Buzzwole. Here's the fight down in the bottom side. The Blissey is there. They pop their X speed to get themselves away. There's the Blizzard from the 8-9, and that's going to push Blaziken out of the way. And they're going to start a rip onto this Rayquaza right now, but there's the Revenant Rend, and that's going to clean up one and possibly two. Blaziken just making it out of there. There comes the Meteors from the Miraidon, but that hasn't actually done enough for them yet. And with that Bliss assistance, they were trying to keep the Ceruledge up, but super power Buzzwole was there to answer, buddy. The Ice Fang is going to protect the Blissey, and we're going to end up with a second fight coming into this. Gatlu in the back trying to clean it up with that nice flank, and there goes the Buzzwole, just the Trevenant and the Hooper left.
Yeah, and Team Germany has 3 unite moves. If you pay attention closely, the Blizzy used unite move on the Ceruledge, but because the Ceruledge died before the Blizzy ultimate connected, the Blizzy actually got its unite move back. That means that the team fight is just going to be cleaned up right now, and while Blaziken is trying to flip it, you can't really flip it to a Mama's Wine. It's just very hard to play against it. So this is the game for Team Germany.
It's 2024 and we have a freeze lane in meta yet again, buddy. That's what we like to see. A9 Mammothswine working an absolute treat for Germany. It's so difficult for them to handle when you pair that Blissey with it. So Buzzwole's trying to fend off against Free down here. We see the Trevenant coming down, but of course they've managed to stop points in that top lane. So Germany are going to take the first game against Italy.
What do you think about Team Germany's performance? Like, people were saying that Team Germany doesn't look really that strong. It's kind of like the best lineup. A lot of rumors about it. What is your opinion right now?
I was impressed, mate. I really enjoyed that. I think the A9 pick was absolute genius. I love that freeze lane. I thought it was really smart, especially when you're coming up against those dives from the all-rounders. And, you know, yeah, I might be biased, but I feel like the Leafeon played very well.
So yeah, we got the 11 kills. We were like, there was like a lot of reading happening. When you play against Upa, you wanna rotate on the map a lot. Just trying to like read your enemies, playing a composition that works well. The Buzzwole and the Blaziken essentially cannot really play the game against the A9. And only then when the A9 is overextending and getting punished for it, it's gonna be very tough for us to play the game because our job is to kill the Miraidon and the Hooper, while the A9 job is to control the Blaziken and the Buzzwole. And this is essentially what happened with the Mammothman and the A9 and the Blizzy, like Indigo just shoutouts to him, having 100k healing and just making sure that the A9 stays alive.
Yeah, Indigo put in an absolute shift there, 108k healing. Really smart play from Germany across the board. But as we can see here, they were pretty much in it the entire way. Italy had a difficult job there. So I'm excited to see how Italy swift themselves for this second game because they know how strong you are as a squad now.
Yeah, and just like a heads up to what's like, if you play a team. So when we played against Unity Country, we just like we tried to draft meta compositions. We tried to like copy a little bit other regions, but then we just quickly realized like it doesn't work. Like just try to draft the compositions that you play. We are trying to play around our carry players, which is like we have 3 carry players essentially, and we just gonna try to draft around it. If you try to draft meta compositions and you don't know how to play it, just try to give it up and just play the characters you like to play and try to make sense in the draft and the composition that you build. Because we were like, do you want to play A9? Like, it kind of looks bad because of Minadon. You can get one-shotted. And I was like, no, I'm going to pick it.
And it works so well, as you say, against the Blaziken and the Buzzwole. It was really important. So yeah, you're absolutely right. When it comes down to it, if you're like, I'm gonna go for my comfort pick, I'm really comfortable on this mon, and it works in the team. So well played to Germany, really. And also we saw a lot of like bans like that were directed towards certain people, right? Which was really interesting.
So again, shoutouts to Nonce Esports for sponsoring this tournament, but also check out nonce.gg to check out the awesome merch that is displaying right now. We got hoodies, we got jerseys, we got mugs. Use Unite code like Unite for like code Unite for 10% off. And I'm excited about the next game. I'm curious like if the Team Italy wants to go first pick or second pick. Obviously I know that, but what do you think is Italy gonna do?
I think they're gonna go for the first pick. We're about to find out. They do. They go for the first pick. Are they going to try and use the same tactic that Germany did? What are they going to try and lock in?
So something that is very important to like notice, like know, is when you are second pick and you are banning out essentially the strong Pokemons, then it's fine, right? The enemies will probably get the Umbreon. But what our pivot was into, Zoroark is a ban that is like happening when you play against good Zoroark players and you just don't want them to play against the comfy Zoroark. So
Yeah.
something that is that we wanted to try to do is let everything open and let them choose what they want to do. If they get the Zacian, we get the Umbreon plus Miraidon. If they get the Umbreon, we get Zacian plus Miraidon. So something that happened in the communication issue, suddenly wasn't banning anything, and then we were like, oh, and then we were surprised about the Umbreon pick because they picked up the Umbreon, knowing that we have a good Zacian. Obviously, I'm a bit biased, but they just picked up the Zacian and the Surge.
I love that. I love that. No, but like they are two massive picks for Germany to get straight out of the gate. So that is, you're absolutely right. Italy have enabled you to get some very strong picks already. So that is very interesting.
Especially because they have Potato on the top lane side, who is also a very great Zacian player. And if you're trying to figure out what your enemies are doing, like Team Italy is just trying, like obviously, like Umbreon is by any means not a bad Pokemon, right? It is good into Zacian and Sablage. So if you
Yeah.
draft a composition that works well into it, for example, picking up the Umbreon plus Ho composition, it can be very crucial for Team Germany. So again, we are just trying to draft our comforts, targeting some players. Like again, if you play against enemies, you wanna beat them, you wanna know what they play, you just wanna figure out how to draft around it. So they picked up the Umbreon, we pick up the Mammothman, and this time around we just pick up the Upa against Servas and try to play a macro game.
It's just going to enable you to be so aggressive as a team over on the side of Germany. You've got the rotations from the Hooper, of course. The Zacian's so strong in regards to how quick it can cause damage and rip. We see Potato locking in the Buzzwole. Clouds takes the Dragonite. That's a really interesting pick. I like it. They've got some good secure on it. If they go for the Hyper Beam, they could go for the Outrage. I suspect it's probably going to be the Hyper Beam.
Yeah, it's a very controlled game, right? They play Pikachu, Buzzbull, plus Umbreon. Like when you play characters like Zacian and Sableye, you wanna have something to like one shot with Sableye
Mm.
because you can essentially just one shot the backline. Pikachu is a very annoying Pokemon. You're seeing the XP share on the Pikachu is gonna be a damage Umbreon this time around. with the Razor Claw attack with focus band build, the Miraidon just works really well into the composition. Because it's very hard for Buzzwell to essentially catch the Miraidon. But again, something that I learned yesterday, you can superpower the charge beam on Miraidon. So this can be a potential counter towards the Miraidon. So what is going to be very important is that the Miraidon is paying attention to the Buzzwell positioning and just adding a lot of pressure on the front line.
Rightly so. But I mean, as you have a look at those comps, Germany have a scary one. You've got the Zacian, you've got the Miraidon, you've got the Ceruledge. It looks like you've got a lot of meta picks over there, buddy. So Italy, they've gone with mons that they're quite comfortable on. Of course, they have their own meta picks. You've got the Pikachu there. It's probably one of the most annoying but really good attackers in the game. Interesting though. I feel like Germany are probably edging it just a little bit with their comp here.
Yes, it's always basically like like just draft. If you have a draft to play against the meta draft, go for it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It is much easier to play meta drafts than counter drafts. But if you have the key to success, go for it. Like I don't blame them. They have strong top lane, decent bot lane, and Dragonite essentially being a good jungler. Like he is a good like good level 5 power spike, but so is Ceruledge as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really going to be a matter of who gets those power spikes early enough to cause their team to have the snowball effect. Bottom lane being the Miraidon and the Swinub is going to be a really difficult matchup for Italy to have. They've got the Pikachu and the Umbreon here. They need to get that evolution onto the Umbreon as soon as possible. But it's going to be difficult to do that against the secure that is a Swinub and the Miraidon.
Yeah, we're going for the Umbreon carry with the Pikachu XP share. I think something that is very interesting on the top lane side is they managed to play so aggressive that they get all the farm. But if you play aggressive, you gotta pay attention to Zacian, right? Because Zacian is still a very strong character, so if you play aggressive, you might be getting punished for it. Something that is very important to note on top lane side is the timers, like when do you use focus band? When do you activate focus band? When do you use eject button? Because these timers are crucial to punish them on top lane side. My jungler knows they don't have any timers, so essentially what we're gonna do is let them woke up and one-shot them.
Yeah, and that works really well. There comes the Zacian taking down the Glossifer. They want to do the same to the Buzzwole. They're going to pick up the Citrus Berry. 14 points going in for the Ceruledge. So Germany really causing dominance on the top lane. We see the Dragonair coming up to try to provide some assistance, but is there going to be any farm left for them to be able to get? They use the Sacred Sword to pick up that extra bit of farm. Are they going to be able to take down the Ceruledge? They're running, and I think they're going to be able to. The Bitter Blade comes on in, but it's not going to do enough healing, and Italy are going to cause some aggression here. They've got the superpower on the Buzzwole. They take down one, they take down two. They can't take down the Sword Doggo though, because it's going to go home for some healing and come back for some chaos. And they do manage to grab Zacian. Italy coming out on top of that one just enough.
Yeah, the Zacian was like trying to protect the go zone, hinting by going into the Buzzwell, but then in trade, it's just a top lane issue, right? Like the top lane has hinting, then the other top lane has hinting. Like this is just something that happens on top lane quite a lot, where both top laners are just hinting a lot. While the 7 is like gonna be level 7, the Dina is already level 7, right? Close to level 8, so it's gonna be very tough to play for the bottom objective.
Rightly so, and you're absolutely right, buddy. You have a handshake of ints in the top lane when you're on those all-rounder mons, and that's definitely what happened. They're level 7 on the Buzzwole, so it seems like they're managing to get these spikes early enough to put some difference in. We've got 720 birds about to spawn. They obviously know where the Zacian is. They've got vision on it from the Buzzwole. Pikachu is here. Here comes the Dragonite. They've managed to get their Evo at level 8. The superpower coming on into the Zacian, really waiting for the right opportunity. They pick up that. They take the Ceruledge down. Italy want to cause some chaos here. They're going to take down the Pillar Swine with a nice hyper beam. If they can take out the Hooper, they can score a lot of points in this top part.
There was a very great counterplay by Team Italy, just deciding to go for the superpower Smackdown composition. If you paid attention to it, he actually superpowered Smackdown the Swablu because it just spawned in time. But then I just didn't react fast enough, and then he just killed me with the superpower. So very well done by Team Italy. But as you noticed from Team Germany, we are instantly voting towards bot lane side because again, you don't want to lose two objectives at the same time. So while they are doing top lane, we are just going instantly for the bottle objective, and because we have Hooper, we can just bottle top lane instantly. Something that happened in this scenario was Italy was trying to push top lane side, but look at our level lead. They're level 9, level 10 almost, and they're still trying to push it. So this is a really risky push, and if you don't manage to succeed on the push, and you still go in and give a lot of XP, basically the comeback is just there. You don't want to give comeback XP when you play a composition that is meant to control the game in the early game and just play it from there. So this was a crucial moment for Team Germany because we got so much XP.
Yeah, rightly so. Italy stayed way too long there. They should have tried to sort of show their face, see what they can do. But as soon as they noticed they weren't going to be winning that, back on out, because that is a lot of XP that Germany have managed to get from that. So it's really going to change the tide of that game. We have the Hooper portals to enable those rotations, and we're going to see Germany just try and grab as much XP in both of these lanes as they can. Bit of a battle between the Umbreon and the Zacian here, but with that Pikachu and Eldegoss coming on in, it's time to retreat.
Something that I noticed as well from like this point of view, the Mammospine and the Hoopa are just very good at protecting points with the Miradon, so it's gonna be very hard for them to push the pad. They're trying to push the pad. You always wanna try to beat your enemies with the Hoopa. Don't let them score. The Miradon used ultimate against the Umbreon to manage to get the Umbreon, because again, the Umbreon is playing damage, right? So it's kind of rough to get the kill. He's higher level than me, so something that Umbreon didn't pay attention to is he's actually a carry, so he should not greed.
Yeah, rightly so. It gives yet again that situation of XP going that way, but Buzzwole wanting to get their own XP. They take down the Cerulege and they want to continue pushing on to this pad, but the rings have been let unbound. The Mama Mash comes in and the Eldegoss has to provide their Unite move to keep everybody in it. The Cotton Cloud Crash does provide some assistance. Dragonite has to use their Unite moves to back on out, and it seems like Germany defended that pad really well. They're now going to push down onto the Regice. There's a Revenant Ren, and that's going to do enough to lock in that, and they take down the Dragonite in return. They just need to do the same to the Buzzwole, but of course the Eldegoss is there. We see the Zacian going in. They're getting pretty weak, buddy. They've got a nice shield, but Umbreon does manage to clean them up. But we see Germany back up onto this pad. I feel like out of all of that, though, Germany probably got a bit more of an upper foot.
Yeah, we are like right now. What is happening is basically because they broke the top lane side, we will get more XP over time than them. We also managed to get the Swablus. They did manage to get the middle Swablus, but right now the Buzzwole is falling. So this is a game of having who has the more XP lead throughout the game. Obviously they have a point lead, but if you play meta compositions, it's good to play for an early lead, like XP lead, because again, like meta compositions is very tough to play against when you have a huge power spike. But Team Italy is just like 142 points ahead, right? Team Germany managed to successfully push them away from top lane regularly and bot lane push. So that's very important because you don't want them to break the bot lane go zone. But while that happens, Team Italy is pushing towards bot lane side while I'm farming the Invidious, and they're just trying to add pressure and break the go zone on bot lane side.
Yeah, nice Thunderstorm coming from the Pikachu, takes down the Hooper. We see the Cerulege coming down to provide some assistance here as well, but they do have those rotations because of that Hooper. And yet again, Germany are so quick to be getting down here to defend anything that's going on. It seems like whenever Italy wants to push a lane, they have to face the entirety of Germany's team all of a sudden.
Yeah, Team Germany was like here kind of in a miscommunication because Buzzwole did manage to get a score on top lane. He got all the swabs on top lane, and then while we are rotating towards bot lane, they were destroying the bot lane side as well. So Team Italy is definitely playing very strong right now and just showcasing their strength in this game and saying we don't want to go home just yet and go to the loser bracket. They're also managing to be in position early for the bot lane objective, and here's what potentially changes the game flow.
Yeah, Regice has spawned. It honestly has felt like there's been constant fighting going on in this game right now. Are they going to be able to lock in anything though? The Revenant Rend is going to take down that Pikachu. They could try and grab the Dragonite, but it's the Zacian that takes down the Regice. There comes the Meteos from the Rhyhorn. Can they lock in the Buzzwole? They do just that. Dragonite goes down, and there's only two left from the side of Italy with Pikachu just spawning. There's 6 seconds left on this Rayquaza, and Germany have the rip. They've got the Zacian, they've got the Cerulege, and the Miraidon. They're going to do just that, Gatlu. Of course, you already knew that, buddy, but here comes the Thunderstorm from the Pikachu, and it's Zacian locking in the big green dragon with these T1s up. That's easy hundo burgers that they can score.
So yeah, Miradon using the eject button to score with him. Obviously, the point was at 80 points. We didn't really manage to get any scores. In the moment, you get the Rayquaza. We're just trying to score as much points as possible. Here, I was pointing out on the attacker that he can reset and keep the shield. Because when the attacker has a shield, especially when it's Miradon, he's gonna do so much damage when you try to push the pad. So what was happening on bot lane side basically was we were just trying to end the game on bot lane because it looked kind of strange because we were just keep losing, right? They got the bot lane scores, they got the regular key almost as well. So something to pay close attention to as well is when the Dina is trying to look for a secure on the objective, he will aim on the objective or on you, and then you can redirect the hyper beam. So here we are, the team Italy is trying to push the pet, but obviously we still have a Milan on shield. Milan is spotting the passive on the shield, and then I'm just gonna engage with the Zacian, Sabotage cannot move, and everyone disappears.
Yeah, Revenant Rend as well. That's just going to take out the entirety of Italy. An ace from Germany with 44 seconds left in this game. Ooh, baby, a triple, a quadra coming out from the Cerulege. Really nice cleanup by Germany. And they are going to beat Italy 2-0 in this game. These quarterfinals have been insane. And Italy have been such a dominant team. A huge shout out to Germany for doing this.
Yeah, I was very proud of the team just managing to turn the tables, having a 200-point deficit, but then still managing to get a great team fight into a great flip. Obviously, we didn't have the Zacian in that move, and the Zacian secured it with the auto attack. But very proud of the progress that the team had. Because in the beginning of Team Germany, we didn't practice as much. We practiced for the tryouts, and then when we got the team together, we just didn't really play as much. I mean, like I have to practice for LIC. I'm also playing with my LFU team, so the schedule is a bit hard to manage. But I'm very proud that we just said after the Unity country, okay, next week we're just gonna try to play as much as possible, maybe scrim, talk about the VODs and what review, and just managing to get the footing in this tournament.
Well, I mean, it's clearly made the difference, right, Gatlu? That was a really demanding sort of set from Germany, really well played. It did feel like Italy were playing pretty well in that game, but yet again, you managed to hold firm. You played that map so well, and you were defending your paths really effectively. So, fantastic play by Germany there. Taking out Italy is impressive. They've played really well from the get go in this. They really wanted to get their crown back, but 113k damage coming out of that Mariadon. That's what you expect to see from that Mon. If you can't get onto it, it's just going to cause that much damage.
Something that is very scary for the loser bracket again is like Team UK lost, right? They got sent to
Yeah.
the loser bracket, so they might play against Team Italy as well. So I'm kind of curious to see how the loser bracket is going to perform. Obviously, we still have to play against Team France. I know that Team France and Team Italy were the favorites going into this tournament, so Team Germany just has to show uh, how it is. I'm kind of curious about Switzerland versus Unity Country. Who do you think is your favorite for that one?
Ooh, I think Unity Country, you know. I
Yeah,
think they
very
play
strong
really
team.
well. Yeah, very strong team. I think Unity Country. I mean, it's going to be a close one because Switzerland have been playing really well as well. But I just think Unity Country have been really aggressive. But if we have a look at that loser bracket, we're just going to get a quick update. You've got it. I mean, you've got UK down there. You've got now it's going to be Italy down in that losers bracket as well. Greece put up a good showing, but of course they were against France. So
Yeah.
and with how Germany's just played as well as we go into the semi-finals, it's either going to be France or Germany going down into that losers bracket as well, which just means that is a really heated up bracket.
Yeah, I think that when you watch a tournament closely, what you pay attention to is the moment the bracket is shifting towards semi-finals, finals, grand
Mm,
finals, people start playing meta drafts. Only occasionally teams playing score comp, etc. But
yeah.
just again, like if you play meta compositions or meta Pokemon, they are so strong. Like Sabotage Unite move is so powerful.
It is one of the strongest in the game. That's why everybody loves to play. Here we go. We got an updated bracket. So Greece versus Italy and UK versus Portugal in that lower bracket there. So that's going to be really exciting. Of course, France versus Germany is your first semi-final, and then Switzerland versus Unity Country is going to be your second semi-final. I think that is a really exciting semi-final lineup, buddy. France versus Germany, Switzerland versus Unity Country. I don't think anybody can predict those games.
Yeah, and then the next week we're gonna cast these games as well. So definitely don't forget to clear your schedules and make sure to watch the games because France versus Germany is gonna be.
How did it feel casting your own game then, buddy?
I think it's quite interesting because you see perspectives from a different perspective. If you're like watch review for yourself, it is alright. But I always recommend is when you watch review, try to watch review with your friend or with your teammate because you will get another perspective from another player or
Mm.
hear another caster.
Right. I didn't get any of that. I heard production in my ear, but it was very broken up for me. I'm not sure if you heard it, Gatlu.
I think that the production Shivam meant that at 8 p.m. CET, we're gonna cast the games France versus Germany versus Switzerland versus Unity Country. So definitely don't forget to watch that. Hope you guys enjoyed the cast and the stream. We're gonna close it up by quickly showing the merchandise. Again, if you guys wanna head out to Non-Strategy's shop and get some amazing merch, we got hoodies, jerseys, and mugs. Use code Unite for 10% off. I'm looking forward to receive my items as well.
Yeah, me too. I really can't wait for that jersey to come in. It's going to be exciting to be able to wear that whilst we cast this Unity Europe Cup. It's been a huge cup already, and we're not even in the semi-finals just yet. They're going to be coming to you next week. A huge shout out to Nouns for sponsoring this. It's been a fantastic tournament. I've really enjoyed casting it. I've enjoyed working alongside you, Gatlu, and I wish you the best of luck as you come into your battle against